Hi guys, my name is Dr Sarah Tonks. I'm a cosmetic physician in London. Today I am talking to you about celebrity work. Now, I do get questions on Instagram or YouTube from you guys asking me, OMG, what has such and such person done? Or like, do you think she's done this with her face? So a while ago I put out an Instagram story question asking you which celebrities did you want me to kind of review, and I legitimately got so many answers I cannot make it all into one episode. So I'm going to make this a two-parter. So if your celebrity that you've requested isn't in this video, fear not, because they will be in the next one, which will probably be next week sometime. By the way, the more eagle-eyed amongst you will probably have noticed that my eyebrows are looking a little bit extra at the moment, and that is just because I have just had them done. I've had them tattooed. It looks like this right now because it's covered in pigment, and in about 5 days, so by the time that we do the next video, it will look lovely. So yes, I know I look like I've just coloured in my eyebrows with a crayon. I am aware. Okay, so we've got the first celeb up now, and I just want to make it like totally clear that I am in no way slating these people. What I'm doing is trying to come at this from an ideal ratio point of view. And one of the problems that I have certainly in my business is if celebrities are walking around there looking, less than ideal, then it has an impact on how people feel when they're coming to say me, because they're going to be thinking, oh, I really didn't like her cheeks or her lips, so I'm going to be a bit scared about having it done myself. Whereas you don't really see good work walking around because it's imperceptible. And the lady who actually kind of made me want to do this video is first up. So that is Christina Aguilera. When I was a kid, you were either like Team Britney or Team Christina. And I've got to tell you, I was definitely more Team Britney than I was Christina. And I never could get on with that whole leather chaps thing that she used to do. I don't think anybody looks good in chaps. She did look great, but unfortunately I think what's happened to her recently is the lip area. What's going on there? Well, I think what's actually happened is she's just been a little bit overfilled here, or it might be that she's recently had this procedure done. So sometimes when you've literally just had your lips done or your cheeks done or whatever, the skin behaves in a slightly different way because it's swollen up and it doesn't look like it would do in, say, like 2 or 3 weeks. I think this happened to Carla Bruni. Do you remember that lady, French First Lady, a while ago? She was like totally slated in the press because she'd had some work done, cheek fillers and maybe a bit of lip as well, and I think she'd made an appearance quite shortly after it was done and the press were like, oh my god, she looks terrible, but actually when it all calmed down she looked alright. So the issue here with Christina's lip is it's more about the shape of it and how this particular shape doesn't really occur in nature. So that's what we're trying to do with aesthetics these days. We're trying to replicate something which is natural looking. And for it to be natural looking, then it has to be something which naturally occurs. And this shape doesn't really naturally occur, which makes me think that it is swollen. And also it seems to be like there's quite a lot of sort of product underneath the lip right here. Again, I don't think the injector will have done it like that because that kind of shape is a little bit, how can I say, like 2005? I think it's much more likely that it's just a bit swollen. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't really follow Christina Aguilera's movement, so I don't know what she looks like now. Just my thoughts there. Let's go over now to somebody who looks amazing. I am, of course, talking about Bella Hadid. Hats off to whoever has done her face because they've really kept the ratio in there and her proportions are absolutely bang on. She looks beautiful. But of course, this is about what she's had done. I think it's fair to say it's pretty obvious that she's had some cheek fillers done because her cheeks weren't like that before. She's probably had some jawline work done as well, and some lip augmentation too. The lip augmentation, very nice. See, she's got now this 50-50 ratio in the lip. So the upper lip is 50% of the whole lip. And it's probably a bit more common to have 1/3 to 2/3, but actually because of her heritage she can really carry that off. Obviously she's had her nose done as well. I mean, who hasn't? Yes, I have done mine. And she's just generally a really good example of how you can look if the work that you've had done is of good quality. I mean, really, seriously, hats off to whoever has done her. Next up, Courtney Cox. She was very much part of my childhood, that whole Friends thing. I was very big into that when I was younger. It seemed very trendy at the time. And she did go through this kind of period maybe about 5 years ago where she wasn't looking so good. And that's because somebody had basically overfilled her a bit. Now, looking absolutely amazing again. I remember in the press she did say that she dissolved all her fillers. I mean, she's definitely put them back after she's dissolved them, but obviously just in a much more natural place. So the issue was before, she had all this product here in the cheek. So when she was smiling, it kind of bunched up, and that's something that happened an awful lot back then. And I'll tell you for why. So the muscles in that area, if you fill over the top of them, when the person's smiling, because the muscle pushes up like this, it takes the whole thing up with it. And that's when you get this sort of bunching thing happening here. If you inject underneath the muscle there, it doesn't really move. So you get a much more natural look. And I suspect that that is what Courtney has done. But looking at these pictures here, I mean, the woman has seriously just not aged. She looks fantastic. Next up, we're going to talk about Jennifer Lopez. Okay, so, I mean, clearly Jennifer Lopez is smoking hot and looks incredible. I just want to make one thing absolutely clear to you guys, which is there is no such thing as special celebrity genes. So, like, Jennifer Lopez is what, like nearly 50 or something? And she looks amazing. If this was natural, then Sharon in Accounts would look like Jennifer Lopez. You'd have Stacey down in, I don't know, logistics, also looking like Jennifer Lopez. It's not natural. People don't normally look like this. She's had some really lovely sensitive work done so that it's kind of just like preserved her through time. And what more could we ask for? She looks amazing. You may ask, well, that's great, Sarah, but what has she done? So, well, probably like everything. So she's probably had very good sensitive fillers in good places. She's clearly had a bit of Botox as well. She's doing some skin resurfacing too. Probably some ultrasound and some radio frequency to keep the tissues nice and tight there, because if you don't tighten the tissues and you just keep adding more filler, then it looks a bit weird. She might even have had maybe some very minor surgical interventions as well. Of course, that is a bit of a trend now to either do like an endoscopic brow lift or, you know, like a half lower facelift. It is possible that she has done something like this. I know my name is going to be down on that list for when I get older. Funnily enough, I did see a picture of her from like way back when, and her chin looked a little bit different, but I could only find one picture like that. So I don't know if it's the angle or if she legitimately did do something when she was younger to change the shape of her face slightly. Not sure. And now we've got the most natural looking of the Kardashian / Jenner family, Kendall. Now, I don't really know too much about these people, so I understand that maybe she's the one which is the most natural looking. I mean, of course, she looks amazing. If this before and after is anything to go by, they've done a really lovely job for her. They've really changed the angle of her eyebrow in a very flattering, feminine way, which is lovely. We've really got that peak going on there. They've probably done that using a combination of Botox and maybe some fillers as well. She's obviously had a bit of cheek work done too. Again, it looks very nice. They've really kept her ratio there, which is lovely. And we've done the lip as well. To be honest, for me, I'd say that the lip was probably a little bit big. You can definitely take a bigger lip if your face is wider. She doesn't really have a wide face. She's still got the same kind of triangular shape as Kim Kardashian does. Whereas somebody like Angelina Jolie, her face goes straight down. So that means that she can carry off a bigger looking lip. If your face is kind of slimmer like this towards the bottom, I think it can look a little bit weird. Sorry, don't kill me. So I would have maybe gone a little bit smaller with the lip there. Ratio's not bad though, and they've kept her anatomy. So super important when you do the lip, you keep the anatomy. So you've got your medial tubercle here, and then the 2 lower lateral tubercles. That's a little bump on the lip because that's what occurs in nature. Hey guys, sorry for the hiatus. The camera ran out of battery and I was in such a rush this morning to get out. I just thought, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna go out, have my day, come back, and then finish the video when I come back. So here I am. I've done all the things I need to do today, so I am back to talk about our final person today, which is Madonna. For a really, really long time, Madonna, at least for me, was a fantastic example of how someone can look when they're having anti-aging treatments and looking really good with it. You know, she had the body, she was really toned, she had the face, everything was just kind of tight and lifted and, you know, tucked, and she looked brilliant. However, I do think recently she's kind of fallen a little bit into that trap of maybe having a bit too much volume in the face. And as we discussed in the video earlier, one of the problems is when you put volume, a filler, fat, whatever, above the muscle in the cheek and the person smiles or moves their face, it kind of takes that volume with it, and that's how it can end up looking a bit unnatural. And you know guys, we're always fighting this battle constantly, and it's a battle that sadly we will never win. Because as we age, the volume loss gets more and more, greater and greater, and there comes a point where you replace it and you've replaced it and replaced it and replaced it, but then you can't get it into the right space quite enough. So you've still got that tissue sagging, you've still got that heaviness, but you don't really have anywhere that you can replace the volume in. What do you do then? Well, some people, like maybe in her case, have decided to just keep filling it to try and make the skin very smooth and line free. You can also try to tighten the skin using either laser or radio frequency or ultrasound, or do a surgical type tightening using a facelift, for example. So I really think with age, it's a bit of a trade-off. So on the one hand, you've got lines and wrinkles. On the other hand, you've got volume. Do you try to erase all the lines and wrinkles by putting more volume in, knowing that the volume that you've put in then becomes not quite how you would see it in nature? Or do you replace the volume the best that you can and sort of deal with the lines and wrinkles a bit? There have been quite a few studies which have shown it's not actually the lines and wrinkles that make us perceive somebody as being older. It's more to do with the shape of the face. So don't sweat it if you've got some crow's feet or a few vertical lines on the upper lip. It's totally normal. What people subconsciously look at when they're seeing you for the first time is this. Is it a triangle in this way? Or is it a triangle like this? Or is it more of a square or a rectangle? And you want to try and take it as far away as you can from it being this, the dreaded triangle with the widest part at the base here, i.e. jowls. I think if I was Madonna, I'd probably let what she's got in there right now settle down and wear off over the next few years. I don't think I'd go and try and dissolve it or anything like that. I mean, you can, but then you wind up having to start from scratch and sort of replace everything, which I don't think is always a great idea. Don't get me wrong, of course that's something that I do in the clinic if somebody has been sort of grossly overfilled in the wrong space, but it is a bit of a faff. So in her case, I'd probably just knock the volume replacers on the head and do more stuff for skin tightening. Okay guys, that's it for this week. Join me again next week for part 2 of me checking out celebrities and talking about what they've had done. Hopefully this is one of those situations in which the sequel will be better than the original. If you would like me to discuss any other celebs in particular, then just please let me know in the comment section below. If you've got anything to say about what I just said, then again, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content, and if you're feeling generous, give me a smoosh on that like button as well. I'll see you guys again next week.